country kids, they're different from others. Let me tell you why. Welcome back, Talking with Jazz, with your host, Big Daddy O. Let's talk about country kids. You know, there's something always a little bit different about country kids. There's a little bit of charm. There's a little bit of naivete. Or sometimes not. Sometimes the complete opposite. I lived in the inner city, so we never knew much about country kids. But we visited the country. My first experience with country kids was at the Gordon Pool. Gordon is a small town just near Ballarat, just beyond Balan. We used to have a pool, and my parents used to take us there. If we begged them for long enough, or we had not had a meal for an hour, and their coffee had been drunk, and we just whinged, and eventually they took us to the pool. But when we got to the pool, it was full of country kids, and we were little city kids. We were meek and mild. These country kids were wild. They were riding their bikes at the pool into the water. It wasn't really a organised pool, but that's the sort of thing you could do in the country. It was just a big concrete hole in the ground that someone had dug 100 years before, and a creek flowed through it. It was freezing and you couldn't see the bottom. Perhaps it was all the bikes that were in it. That was country kids. A little while ago, in living memory, when my memory has been cast in sand, a friend of mine said to me, "You know, the funny thing about country kids is when you go to the big smoke, they struggle to walk in a straight line." I came in contact with these country kids. They were from Hamilton, I think, and they were staying with my flatmate. And I watched them try to cross Sydney Road. Now, if you didn't know, Sydney Road is one of the most busy roads in Australia. I'm talking in Brunswick, where I was currently living at a share house, formerly mentioned in previous episodes. Anyway, they did not know how to cross a road. I didn't think that was possible because they were probably all in their early 20s, I would have said. And they were very tentative. And yes, there were cars, trams, bikes, bike lanes, all sorts of things going on, as well as all of the distractions of the shops and everything. But they were really struggling. They didn't know whether to go halfway or you know, they kept walking back and forward and back. I was terrified for them. I think I eventually yelled at them and said, "Go to the lights and press the button." But see, they would have thought that was going to be a little bit of a wimpy thing to do. So I think they ignored me. Anyway, they got onto the tram. I don't know where they were going. I don't think they knew where they were going, but they got on. My next recollection of how country kids stood out was when I worked in advertising, and we were always in search of a small model who could do things like talk and act. And they would be often described as country kids because apparently country kids can sell things. So we looked at them and said, "Have they got enough freckles to be a country kid?" Apparently you need freckles to be a country kid. What if your skin's dark? You don't have freckles. Oh well, you can't be a country kid apparently. It was more about a stupid stereotype that advertising agencies use to promote the idea of a country kid. And this story is not about that. I say this to my country kids. I say, you can always tell the country kids at university, they're the ones with the purple hair, because they're making the extra effort to be cool. I grew up in Carlton, in the inner city. You'd think that would be cool enough. But no, I never had purple hair. So why don't you have a great day?